Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. It is Monday, August 21st, 2023. It is 6:01 p.m. We're in the Nashua North Boardroom, and I'm calling this Board of Education meeting to order. Ms. Lamphier, can you do the roll call? What?
Is it Monday?
No, I am open to the wrong packet. So I have this magical time traveling ability.
You did not have to be in school all these days.
Actually, it's a typo.
The typo.
It's a typo. There we go. So I'm not.
Oh, it is. You're right.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so it is Tuesday, September 5th, but it is 6:01 p.m. and we are in the Nashua North Boardroom. Sorry, guys, you almost got 2 extra weeks of school vacation. Ms. Lamphier, can you really do the roll call now?
Sure. So Miss Darling is not here yet. Miss Raymond? Here. Mr. Claffey?
Here.
Miss Brown?
Here.
Miss Oden?
Here.
I'm here. Miss Johnson?
Present.
Miss Bishop?
Here.
Miss Giglio?
Here.
Mr. Farley?
Here.
And Mr. Castellano.
Here.
And we also have Dr. Andrade, Dr. Sarfty, Mr. Posca, and Mr. Donovan.
After you're done the prayer, Dante, want to lead us in the pledge? Not yet. We'll do the prayer first.
Almighty God, we have the high honor and the serious duty of managing the educational institutions of our beloved city. In our common endeavors, may we find a spirit of unity and understanding, which will enable us to face our multiple problems with an objective mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will be for the betterment and greater happiness of all of our fellow citizens. Amen.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and tonight we don't have any recognitions or presentations. However, welcome back to school, everybody. That's a recognition in and of itself. Have you guys been having a good first couple of days?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. They're like, we're there. The doors have opened. It sounds like administration has had some good times. So welcome back, everybody. This is the shortest agenda ever. We're already onto the consent agenda, so I'm looking for a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Giglio, and thank you, Ms. Raymond. All those in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Passes. We are now up to our first public comment question period. Did anybody sign up? No, nobody signed up? Okay. I'm feeling very unimportant today. Dr. Andrade, superintendent's comments, please.
Thank you. I'm happy to report the first days of the new year went very well. It was wonderful to observe and feel the energy, joy, and exuberance throughout the district and all of our schools. Also, today we welcomed our youngest students, our K and our preschoolers. It is also inspiring to return to school amidst great news about our high schools. Both North and South were ranked in the top 25 public high schools in the state of New Hampshire. U.S. News and World Report ranks high schools used in college readiness, state assessment proficiency, state assessment performance, underserved student performance, college curriculum breadth, and graduation as criteria. Congratulations to Mr. Burns and Mr. Richard, their staff, and the entire district. These rankings reflect the positive, empowering, and productive academic environment at both schools and throughout the district. Again, congratulations to all, and welcome back.
Excellent. Now it's board member response to superintendent's comments, and I'll start over here with Ms. Giglio.
I just am happy that we've had a good start to the school year, and I thank administration and all of our staff at every level in all the schools and the students. Thank you.
Congratulations to our 2 high schools, the students, the past and present, and all the staff there. We have 2 amazing schools. So Congratulations to all of the people that work there. Thank you, and all of the students. Thank you.
Want to welcome all the students back, staff back, and this just shows how much hard work where we are in the numbers here. Last year was a hard year. The year before was even worse, coming back, but we just showed that we're starting to turn things around and the great progress that we're making here, and we have a good team. Thank you.
No comment. Ms. Lamphier?
Just want to say welcome back to everybody.
Laffey? I want to point out, it's not just the top 25, but they were like neck and neck with each other, which really goes to show, like North and South, while they're two different schools, they're still producing the same output, which is great to see that all of our schools are doing the same thing, which I thought that was really neat. So
Who is in front? Just wondering.
only because you're so competitive, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to say go find it on the internet and read it. But one was 22nd and one was 24. So figure it out. Oh, I'm in charge of this. So now we are on to student members of the board comments.
All right, it's me first tonight.
Okay.
So good evening, everyone. I hope everyone has had I hope everyone has had success in easing back to the swing of things. Even with this now being my 11th year in the back to school season, I still find it very difficult going from summer right into school. I want to highlight something that I'm extremely happy with in our schools. I was waiting in the lunch line the other day, and I saw that we were actually selling some diet sodas. These were previously not allowed due to the caffeine restriction, but with us updating the policy, we are now able to sell them. I've also seen kids get very excited about this and that they can now purchase these beverages at lunch. I think that overall the student population will benefit from our actions. On that topic, I'm also very proud to announce that DECA will be serving its first cup of coffee sometime in the next few weeks. There's still a few kinks in the road, but I can assure you that we are working to take care of them. I'm very happy with how this all went and how we were able to update our policy in just a few short months. Lastly, I would like to shout out all the guidance counselors across the district. I know the beginning of the year is super hectic for them, and I don't think that they get enough credit for all the vital work that they do every day. I think that I speak for every kid in the district when I say thank you for all that you do. I'm sure that there is stuff even behind the scenes that us students don't even know is a part of the job. And so you really do help us throughout our entire high school experience. Thank you.
Good evening. I hope everyone has had a nice, smooth transition to the new school year. While it is always tough getting back into the rhythm, I am glad to be back and look forward to a nice year ahead. Just a few reminders. Make sure you keep an eye on Google Classrooms for just like important date reminders and different events and stuff happening, especially if you're a senior. And then another thing that will be coming up soon, at least at South, is like the Board of Ed student rep elections. And obviously I'm a senior, so I won't be running again. So if you're interested or have any questions, definitely let me know. And then kind of along with that, I hope to put out some sort of feedback form sometime soon just to gauge students' thoughts at the beginning of the year, that kind of stuff. And just to go off of what Warren said, definitely want to thank the guidance counselors and really all administration for all the work they've done to make it as smooth as possible getting into the new year. So thank you.
We have no committee on budget, finance and operations policy and curriculum are all meeting next week. So this, is it next week or the week after? After, okay. Just keep trying to make things on my time frame today. Sorry about that. I will hand the floor over to Ms. Giglio.
Thank you. I'm looking for a recommendation to suspend the rules to consider items from the HR committee meeting held earlier this evening.
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Oden. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
I make a recommendation to approve the personnel recommendations of September 5th, 2023.
Second.
Giglio, thank you, Ms. Oden. All those in favor, or any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Welcome to all of our new personnel.
We did not have any administrative recommendations tonight, and we did receive some really good information from from Michael Baus from HR that is helping us understand what's happening in the district and how many more people we need to hire and how we can move forward with that. So I think unless someone has another recommendation, that's all we need to talk about for HR.
Perfect. This bumps us over to liaison reports, and we have a JSSBC update, right, Ms. Lamphier?
Yes.
Excellent.
We met on August 24th, I think. So Franklin and Brentwood had their first day of school today. The third floor was all set. The elevator was all fixed to welcome them. The kitchen is not yet done, but it's almost complete. The playground has a new rubberized surface in compliance with a new accessibility law passed at the State House last year. They have a basketball court for the older kids. And I guess the next step is to start working on the sidewalks around the school, which the neighbors are going to be really happy about. At Fairgrounds in Pennachuck, the Pennachuck track has been regraded and repaved. The Fairgrounds track has been resurfaced, and the striping is probably complete by now. At McCarthy, the site development is ongoing, and they're no longer using the entrance at Cherry Blossom and Medallion Court. So hopefully that will get fixed up soon. And the boiler is in, and they're going to use it for temporary heat in the fall. And for Birch Hill and Main Dunstable, we saw pictures last week of the portable classrooms and the temporary classrooms, and we were really amazed at how great they look. We were kind of, you hear temporary classrooms, but they look like they're really going to work for the kids, and the principals were happy about them. So that's that.
Thank you. Yeah, the evolution of that has been really cool to see. I will now give the floor to Dr. Andre. Oh, Ms. Raymond, sorry.
Sorry, I know it's
Right? I keep saying I want to sit over there, and then I can see everybody.
I just had a question for Dr. Andrade about the Franklin Street School. I know that when the JSSBC had last met, we were still trying to work it out with the city about paving and making sure that, drop-offs with the buses and with parents were going smoothly. How did that go this morning?
Not well. I'll be as transparent as,
Hoping for a different answer.
No, I think we had Mr. Lasad was there, Officer Duncan. I think the traffic pattern was difficult. Also, it was the first day of school with pre-K students, so there wasn't a lot of people on the bus. So I think we have to wait a couple days to see what needs to be adjusted to see if there's more ridership. But, I heard there was only a handful of kids on buses and a lot of drop-offs today, which put traffic all the way back to Main Street. So I think that was really difficult, but Mr. Lasad will be there again, assessing the situation throughout the week, and then if we have to make adjustments, we'll be there. So, but yeah, today was not a good drop-off or pickup. So, and so we'll make the adjustments as necessary, but Mr. Smith was also in contact with the church. We got a few more parking spots and allowed for a couple more pass-throughs. So I think there'll be adjustments this week and into next week. So more to come on that.
Did the city do the paving yet, or are we still waiting on that? I haven't driven down there.
I don't think that.
No, that they were gonna pave the streets, kind of the side streets and the street behind Franklin Street, because they're really not in great condition. And then they were gonna paint some helpful lines to help with traffic flow.
I'm going to be visiting there tomorrow. It's on my schedule, so I can report back to you. But I was at Franklin Street a couple weeks ago, and I don't remember bouncing through the road. So it was fairly smooth. So I don't know where that pavement was.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, so Dr. Andrade, unfinished business.
Yep, thank you. This is a motion that was pulled from last month. As you recall, We are working with the Wisconsin Center for Education Products and Services for our ELL professional development. This was a late submittal. It was the proposal was submitted to the Department of Justice and approved in August. So at last meeting, we want to verify our funding source tonight. We're just bringing it back to get a vote on this recommendation to approve the agreement with WESEPS for coaching for year one in an amount not to exceed $212,625 using ESSER 3 grant funding. And again, this is a PD that was approved by the DOJ for our ELL professional development.
Raymond?
I'll make the motion, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about what the PD will entail and how this is going to help our teachers and our students.
I'll second.
So one of the strong points of WESEPS is their strong connection with WEDA, which is the assessment for ELL students. And in their PD, they have the capacity to bring in 15 coaches to work with all of our educators. In the past, it was more virtual, and then it was, so it's nice to have in-person professional development. Some of the strategies that they're going to be working on some coaching for our building principals on change management. They're also looking at fundamental principles for mainstream classrooms, how to create environments for more inclusion, building the capacity to bridge content, language, and language development, so especially for our content teachers. And lastly, really how to design lessons to integrate content learning and language development. So really best practices. And then our teachers are currently filling out a survey on what they think their needs are. So when WESEPS comes to the district next week, first PD for the first 3 hours is around going over the data that the teachers and principals are providing. So on top of the topics that I just mentioned, they'll gear the PD for the buildings and the responses to the teachers. So it's really about best practices, really bridging content, language, learning and language development, and then how is it applied to the classroom. So we're hoping that our teachers, they have until Friday of this week to complete the survey, and I hope they do, because from there, that data is really gonna drive professional development moving forward. This is year one of the PD agreement. We are hoping for a 3-year agreement. We know that it needs to be sustainable. Change doesn't happen overnight. Change doesn't happen with just 10 hours of professional development. So we're hoping that, again, just to set the foundation this year on some bigger concepts, and as we move forward, it'll be honed to the needs of the teachers as long as we keep on completing the surveys that are going out there. So we're really looking forward to it. It's nice to have some PD that's going to be in person. And then from there, really, what's the coherence and the clarity in connecting this work to the other initiatives in the district.
Any other comments or questions? Ms. Oden?
I just want to say I like the idea that they're asking teachers what they would like to have for professional development. That often doesn't happen, so I think that's a real plus for the company and for our teachers. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of, I have to go back to the top. All those in favor of approving the agreement with the Wisconsin Center for Education Products and Services for ELL professional development and coaching for the year 1, 2023-2024 school year, and the amount not to exceed $212,625 using ESSER 3 grant funding, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And now the floor again for new business.
Yep. So this last new business is a MOU regarding September 12th, 2023 in-service day. There is language in the contract allowing us to have an additional professional development day, but we have to work with the union just to memorialize it. I did meet with Mr. Marcoux this afternoon saying that we should be starting the process before September 5th and signing the MOU and really coming up with that process. But I want to thank Mr. Marcoux and his executive board for their collaboration in this MOU and so that we can have high-quality professional development for our educators and staff.
So I'll make the motion to accept the MOU regarding September 12th, 2023 in-service day. Johnson seconds. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of accepting, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Second public comment. Still none? Aw. It is. But when you guys don't join us, it feels kind of like we're zoo creatures. You're just here observing us in our natural habitat. All right, well, if nobody wants to join us or have any fun with us, it brings us up to board members' comments. I started off with Ms. Giglio last time, so I will start over here. Sorry, run. Gonna quote Fish, I'm like, run like an antelope, but we won't.
Okay, thank you. So I had initially thought about doing, requesting that the board issue a resolution on a matter, but I think instead I'm just going to incorporate it into my board member comments. Our state Board of Education is meeting next week on the 14th. And the School Administrators Association has sent them a letter, which I think really encapsulates my thoughts and what I was hoping to ask the board for, so I'll just kind of touch on that. Our State Board of Education has a program called Learn Everywhere. And Learn Everywhere allows families to do, it's basically an independent learning opportunity that is approved by the state, and local districts are required under state law to provide graduation credits for whatever those Learn Everywhere opportunities are without any oversight from the local governing body or local administrators. New Hampshire has decided to invite Prager University to provide some of this materials for one of the classes that they are proposing for Learn Everywhere. And so I myself am very concerned about this. I know both Texas and Florida have adopted PragerU materials, and those materials have things like an animated Frederick Douglass telling kids about how Black people benefited from slavery. They have another film that talks about how fossil fuels don't have any impact on the climate and how climate change is a hoax. So I will be writing a letter to the State Board of Education. I encourage anyone else in the community who has feelings about whether or not our local school district that is ranked 22nd and 24th in the state really wants to be offering graduation credits for things that are non-accredited materials. And I really hope that we can explain to the State Board of Education that New Hampshire is really good at public education when we go through the process of utilizing accredited materials that have been properly vetted by education professionals and then approved by local school boards. So those are my comments for this evening. I encourage anybody to look up the New Hampshire School Administrators Association's letter and join them if you have feelings on this topic as well.
Thank you. Mr. Claffey?
Let's get back to work, kids.
Ms. Lamphier?
Comment today.
Okay. Ms. Brown?
I just want to welcome everyone back. Thank you to all the administration, the people in the behind the scenes at the schools, the secretaries and food service workers that are keeping our kids fed, and the janitorial staff, and all the students and teachers. Welcome back. We're glad to have you here and glad to see a good, beautiful week for the first week back. Thank you.
Ms. Johnson?
Thank you. I'd like to thank the members of the audience for coming tonight. And it's kind of quiet. I wish they said something. Just saying hi. I would like to welcome everybody back to a nice hot week. I mean, what happened to this heat last week at the end of the summer vacation? But I guess we grin and bear it. I like it. I think it's cold in here anyway. But I am hoping for a nice, successful school year for everybody, and that, well, everything will be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to welcome everybody back. Seems like summer is very short. But I want to thank Miriam Malizzi-Golia and all the people that put Nashua Back to School on at the library. I think it was the biggest crowd I've seen in all the years I've gone. We were lucky. The weather was great for it. There were just so many people there. I think every school had all their administrative team there. It was just a feel-good night, and the kids were happy. They were fed. The parents were there. It was one of the best nights I've seen. So I want to thank all the people that worked in that. It was fantastic. I also want to thank Mr. Baus tonight for all the work he's doing in HR. He put some graphs together for us to give us a picture of what's going on in HR. And I want to thank him because I know this time of the year is particularly busy for him. And to do this extra work, thank you so much. It's appreciated. Thank you. And thank you to all our staff who came back ready to rock and roll with our students. So all our students, I don't know where the numbers are. We haven't gotten that yet, but I hope we all have small class sizes. Okay, thank you.
Giglio?
I don't ever remember in the past 3.5 years a meeting where we had no public comments at either part of it, which is just amazing. But one thing I would like to mention, because I'm concerned about it a little bit, and I know the district's been working on it, is we're still receiving email from parents of Broad Street students concerning the middle school alignment. And I was fortunate enough to meet with Jonathan Foster at central office, who went over that information in detail with me. But it seems to me that we need to somehow put together something more definitive, or at least let these people know what the map actually looks like. And are we going to consider, they're concerned that some of the Broad Street students will go to McCarthy for 3 years and then move to the high school north, and they feel like they would be better served by going to Pennachuck. And I'm just hoping, because it's everything else is quiet. Like there's, the only emails I'm getting. So I'm hoping that that's something we can resolve.
Yeah, that's definitely something we can readdress, and I think that was part of the plan, was getting something on the table and then getting the more concrete feedback about specific roads and stuff, which is exactly what happened. We're getting that feedback. The plan was to, if we needed to make unilateral changes, to bring it back to the board, so we can absolutely, when it's the right time for administration, we can bring it back and we can talk about it. And I want to also second what Ms. Raymond said about the Prager University. I think we need to make sure that we're always using accredited services when we're providing materials and quality education to students. I encourage anybody to go up and give testimony on that. I know it's September 14th in the morning, so send up your emails, go up, just advocate for what you believe is right. And if you don't have anything against it, then oh. Okay. So with that, I think we're wrapping up our meeting. I don't have anything else, guys, but I feel like we should just sit here for a little bit. People had to drive here. We should give them. Somebody's making a face at me like they had something to say. Was that? You don't need a non-public for anything. No.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. This is very sad. I have like nothing to do for the rest of the night. Okay, so all those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We are out of the meeting at 6:31.